So today I'd like to introduce you to our first speaker. If you can kindly mute yourselves once you're on or you join, please. Thank you. So our speaker is Dave Emnett. He's the co-founder and COO of Oze. He's also an entrepreneur, digital marketer, and data analyst. He's very passionate about building profitable business. He's a great teacher, mentor, and boss. So before starting Oze, he held various roles as a financial service professional, as well as a consultant in the US. In 2014, he joined forces with business accelerator Dare to Innovate as their global CFO. Dare to Innovate has since trained thousands of entrepreneurs across West Africa to grow to $700,000 in annual revenue and seed funded over 60 startups. Dave has an international MBA from USC, and he's a big-time Arsenal fan. So I don't know if you have any Arsenal fans here, but Dave is a big-time Arsenal fan. And our next speaker is Prince Arnold Mortagbe. He's also an experienced and versatile business coach that is passionate about supporting small businesses to use technology to scale their businesses. He's well-versed in the areas of bootstrapping, investment acquisition, market penetration, and sustainable growth. Prince aims to unravel the pain points of entrepreneurship and support systems that help SMEs thrive. If you can kindly mute yourself, Stella. His dedication to his goal has given him 150,000 SMEs in Ghana and in Nigeria. With his time with us at Oze, he's our senior business coach, and he's also a great team player. So I'd like you guys to show them some love with some emojis in the chat. If you could kindly do that to welcome them. And I'll hand off to Dave to take us through, as we just have a couple of minutes for this session. Oh, I also like to introduce my colleague on the call too. His name is Hachi. He works with me as well. He's also a very great team player. So if you guys have any questions, please do well to ask in the chat box, but we'll definitely give you periods where you can ask your questions as well. All right, so Dave, I'm handing over to you, and you can share your screen.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Good morning, getting to good afternoon. Really excited to be here with you today. Let me share my screen and we'll kick off. First part of the call, we're going to talk about some digital bookkeeping strategies. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper with Prince in the second part of the call. So I do have some slides to go through with you guys just for visual aid, but feel free to pause, ask me to pause at any time to ask questions or drop questions in the chat. Be happy to answer them as well as we go through. All right. For those of you who maybe aren't super familiar with Oze, we're on a mission to build 100 million profitable small businesses across Africa. Right. So that's what Winnie and Prince and Hachi, we get up every morning thinking, how do we help you guys grow, right? And the main ways we do that is through digital tools like our Oze Business App, and by helping you access small business loans from our financial institution partners. So we'll talk a little bit more about that during Prince's session. Winnie's already talked about me, but I have been working with small businesses in West Africa for over 10 years. And that's what I'm really super passionate about doing sessions like these with you guys, where I can help just share a few tips, a little bit of my experience with you. It is what really gets me excited. So in this session today, we're just going to define digital bookkeeping. I'm just going to basically give a definition because Prince is going to go into it in a little bit more detail. But then I want to talk about some of the benefits of going digital, right? And then give you, I think I have 5, maybe even 6 strategies that you can use for digital bookkeeping. And at the end, we're going to pick 1 or 2 of those and practice them together, okay? So probably just take about 30 minutes and then hand it over to Prince to do the second part, okay? All right, so what is digital bookkeeping? Anyone want to put in the chat or go off mute and tell us from your perspective, what do you think digital bookkeeping means? Any takers? No? Okay, I'm still trying to warm you guys up a little bit. No worries. Let's look at the definition I have. Oh, someone put it in the chat. Keeping records electronically. Yeah, great. Yeah, it wasn't a trick question. Good. Thank you so much for sharing. So the definition that I have here. Oh, got someone else in the chat. Okay, I think maybe having some connection issues. Can most people hear me pretty well? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. So one definition, there are several definitions, but one definition for digital bookkeeping is a system of keeping financial records. You got it, completely digitally or electronically, as one of you said, right? And what that means is we don't have to rely on manual, paper-based types of records, right? We typically would use software, mobile apps, automations to keep track of that data, right? And Prince is going to dive into like what are the different types of data that we need to keep and talk a little bit about more about that later. But I just wanted to define it to set us up here to continue the rest of the presentation. All right. So why go digital, right? Businesses have been keeping their records on paper for thousands of years, right? What are some of the benefits? What's the reason that it makes sense to go digital in today's world? Okay. And what we see is that more and more small businesses are going digital, right? 94% of small businesses are now using the smartphones that they hold in their hands to manage their business. And it's not just in bookkeeping, right, where we're going digital. It's across many different areas of our world, of our society, of the way we manage our businesses. So you have physical shops who are now either going completely online or at least offering an online shop, right? We have cash. Though many of our transactions are still done in cash, more and more we're seeing transactions being done in mobile money or in Nigeria, instant bank transfer, right? More and more people are opting for, instead of having in-person visits, doing Zoom calls like we're having today, right? More and more there are, maybe less calls being done, and we're replacing that with WhatsApp messages. And more, instead of keeping financial records on pen and paper, we're using app technologies or softwares to do business, right? And I think the really important part here, guys, is just that you don't want to get left behind, right? You want to be part of this trend of going digital, right? And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why. But the first and most important reason why is just you're going to make more money, right? The studies are showing that businesses who are using digital tools to manage their business are making double. They're making 2 times as much money as businesses who aren't, right? So if you want to make more money, which we're all business owners here, we want to, right? It's important to use digital tools to run your business. Yeah. So some of the benefits of digital bookkeeping, just in general, being organized, right? Saving time and money. When you're using digital tools, the calculations are typically done automatically for you, right? So you're saving that time of getting the calculator out and manually doing the calculations. Always having access to your financial records, right? If you're keeping records in a paper book, if that book is not with you, you don't have access to it, right? But if you're keeping records in a software or app tool, as long as you have your phone with you, right, which we all always have our phone with us, you have access to those records. Getting reminders. Business owners, we're busy people, right? We can forget things, or sometimes we just need a nudge, right, to either follow up with that customer who owes us money, or to record our transactions even, right? So digital tools can help give us those reminders. Yeah. Search. I think maybe we don't think about this as often, right? But the ability to search all of our financial records to find one that we need to reference. Okay? If you're keeping records on paper and pen, the way you search is by one, reading through those records that you have, turning the page if it's not on the first page, one by one, turning the page one by one, right? Whereas if you have a digital tool that you're using to keep records, you just type in what you're looking for in the search, and voila, you find the transaction that you're looking for. And then lastly, a backup, right? Pen and paper can get lost, you spill your coffee on it. So many other things can happen to that pen and paper, but if you have your data backed up somewhere by using an app or other software, even if you lose your phone or your laptop gets broken, your data is safe in the cloud, right? And so you can buy a new phone. Hopefully you don't have to do that, guys. But and then log into your account and your data comes right back. So there are many, and there are many more benefits actually of digital bookkeeping, but I wanted to just talk about a few to make sure that we're all on the same page there. Yeah. Anyone want to add any other benefits of digital bookkeeping? Want to put it in the chat? Come off mute. Tell us what you're thinking when it comes to the benefits of digital bookkeeping. More and more people are joining. I like it. Any other thoughts? All right, cool. Let's get to the strategies then. This is the important part here. All right. Let's see. To know your sales trends. Absolutely, we're going to talk about that one. Easy to use. 100% agree with you. It's much easier, at least from my perspective, to keep your records digitally, like using an app, than to be writing each one down manually. Amina says keeping your finances organized. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. All right, guys. So I prepared 5 digital bookkeeping strategies that we're going to talk through. I think I got a little carried away and added a bonus one, a 6th. So let's dive in. All right. So some of the strategies that, from my perspective, it's important to use when you're doing digital bookkeeping. The first one is to have a price list, right? It's very important that you have, of course, a list of your products, but that you have ideally a set price, right, for each of your products, right? And when you set that price, you want to make sure that you're factoring in, of course, the cost of buying or making that product or service or providing that service. Yeah. If you accept cash payments, which many of us do, I would also encourage you to think about the bills that people are going to be using when they're paying, right? You want to make it easy for people to pay you. Yeah. So it's important to think, okay, can I easily pay for this amount with 250 CD bills, right? Or 1,000 Naira bills, right? And then also, I think what's really important here is to try not to change your price on a one-to-one basis, right? So you don't want to change your price for each customer that walks in the door, right? Or each customer that you interact with. Rather, if you need to negotiate with that customer, you want to use discounts, right? So then no matter if you're the one talking to your customer or your employee or your colleague is the one talking to the customer, everyone's on the same page on what is the standard price for this product or service that you're selling. It just makes things easier, it makes it more streamlined. Yeah. And then, of course, when you need to, you got to adjust those prices, right? Maybe your costs go up or inflation hit really hard in the last few months. Make sure that you go back to your price list, update those prices, adjust them as necessary, communicate to your customers on that. But you do need to adjust prices when necessary. Yeah. The important part here, I think, is have set prices, right? And use discounts to negotiate rather than each customer that walks in the door, haggling with them about what the price should be for this particular product. Yeah. Cool. Strategy number 2 is to have standard discounts, right? So again, right, when we're doing digital bookkeeping, the idea is to standardize, right, and to make things automated as much as possible. So for every customer that walks in the door, you don't want to give them a different discount, right? You first, it's important to decide, do you want to give amount discounts or percentage discounts, right? Do you want to give them 10 CDs or 500 Naira discounts, right? Or do you want to give them 5%, 10% discounts? Yeah, or both, right? You could do both, right? But what's important here is to have a standard list of discounts that you offer, right? So I encourage you to have no more than 3 discounts that you offer. You can have both amount and percentage, 3 discounts, but have that list that you use, right? And the reason that's important, again, is just for automation and standardization purposes, right? You don't want you or your colleagues or your employees to be giving a bunch of different types of discounts, right? You want to be giving a 12 CD discount and then your colleagues giving a 21 CD discount, right? Let's everyone agree, okay, these are the 3 different discounts that we're willing to offer based on your interaction with the customer, right? Or based on often the tiers of customers that you have, right? Maybe you have your recurring customers that are really fantastic customers, and you want to give them, the highest discount that you guys have agreed to offer. So some examples, right? Maybe, and again, I encourage you to think about the bills that people are paying when they're paying in cash, right? 10 CD, 20 CD, 50 CD discount, or 5%, 10%, 20% discount, right? And don't give other discounts, right? Just agree with your team, with your colleagues, that you're not going to give any other discounts than those. And that allows you to stay organized, to all be on the same page, to keep your financial records clean and simple. Yeah. So strategy number 2 is having standard discounts. Yeah. Right. Arguably, the most important one we're going to talk about today is setting products and services categories. Okay. Now, when you create your categories, right, you want to ask yourself, what do I need to know about the way that I'm selling my products and services? Okay. Some of the questions that often come up are, what do I need to buy or make more of? Right? Or when do I need to restock? Yeah. Where do I invest my marketing dollars? If I can see which product or service category is doing the best, maybe that's where I want to put my marketing dollars, or CDs or Naira. Yeah. Which products are selling the fastest, right? Or which ones are making me the most money, right? Typically in business, we'll talk about a profit margin, right? What's the profit that you're making on each product? Yeah. Where are there opportunities to offer more SKUs, right? By SKUs, I mean essentially different versions of the same product or service. Yeah. Or complementary products, right? A product that goes well with a certain other product. Yeah. So these are some of the questions, right, that you might want to be asking yourself about the way that you're selling your products and services. And after you've come up with those lists of products, that will drive the way that you set up your categories, right? So when you're ready to set up your categories, things to think about are, what's the level of detail that you want, right? So for example, I just use a very simple shirt example, right? Do you want to keep records of the number of men's shirts that you sell, right? Or number of women's shirts that you sell? Or do you want to know how many men's red shirts did I sell, right? Versus how many men's yellow shirts did I sell, right? Do you want that level of detail, right? Or do you want to go even further than that and try to know, okay, I want to know how many men's red medium-sized shirts that I sold, right? Versus how many men's red large size shirts that I sell, right? And there's no right or wrong answer here, team, right? The level of detail that you want is really up to you, right? And what drives this is typically the way that maybe you buy or make the product or service, right? If I'm buying from my supplier, for example, my red t-shirts, and I want to know, do I need to restock more medium shirts or more large shirts, right? Then maybe it's important to go down to that level of detail when you're tracking, right? But if you typically just buy an assortment of medium, large, small shirts, right? Then maybe you don't really need to, track that. But it's important to think about what level of detail do you want to track in your products and services, right? once you've done that, then you need to come a step up, right? And think about, okay, what groups of products and services does it make sense, right? So going with our t-shirt example, right? Maybe I sell all kinds of different products in my store, right? And so I just want to track a product category of, or a service category of clothes, right? Maybe when I want to go further down and have shirts, pants, dresses, right? Or maybe I want to go even further down and have men's shirts, women's shirts, kids shirts, men's shirts, women's shirts, men's pants, women's pants, kids pants, right? Or maybe I want to go even further than that and decide, do I want the different types of shirts, right? Men's formal shirts, men's t-shirts, women's formal shirts, women's t-shirts, right? So again, right, it's kind of up to you, and there's no right or wrong answer. What's the level of detail that you want, right? But you want to pick things that make sense for your business. Okay. And when you pick those things, that will help you answer the questions that we talked about in the beginning of this part. Any questions about like the way to organize, categorize your products and services? If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. All right. Number 4, how many of you have ever experienced this? Your customer raise your hand, give me a thumbs up if you had that experience, post in the chat. Happens to me all the time. Or another way to think about it, right, is how many times have you gotten a payment from your customer and you weren't 100% sure who that payment was from, or what do they actually pay for? So 2 important things that you want to try to avoid, right? Always, yeah. Someone said that happens to them all the time, a number of times, yeah. And there are ways to avoid these things, right? Because each time that this happens, it's time, right? It's time that you need to respond to that message, right? Or it's time that you need to try to figure out, okay, based on all of my chats with all of my different customers, who was the one that paid? What did they pay for? Did they pay me the right price? Yeah. And, you know, one of the best practices around digital bookkeeping, right? It's just sending invoices and receipts, digital ones, right? In your WhatsApp. So it's to the customer or via email to the customer. So it's always available. You can go back and reference that. But importantly, you want to add your payment details to all the invoices, right? So that your customer doesn't have to reach back out to you and say, okay, what's the bank account number I should pay into? Yeah. They can just reference the invoice that you sent them, right? Or when you're communicating with the customer, include the payment details, right? And even what I always also recommend is include what they should put in the narration or reference when they pay you, right? So if they're sending an instant bank transfer in Nigeria, there's a reference section. They can put a reference there. Or if they're sending mobile money in Ghana, right? There's a reference section there where they can put something, right? That will help you identify, okay, what do they buy? Whether it's an invoice number, whether it's just the product that they bought, whether it's just their name, right? Something that will help you identify who sent this, yeah, and what they paid for, right? So 2 things there, right? Make sure you add your payment details to all of your invoices, and make sure when you have standard messages when you're communicating with customers that have the payment details and a suggested narration or reference in those messages that you send to them. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. We talked about this at the very beginning of the call, but one of the really nice things about digital bookkeeping is that you can look at your metrics often, right? You don't have to get the calculator out, calculate all of your sales for the week and see what the total is, right? Typically, the apps, the software tools like Oze calculate it for you, right? And what I would encourage is at least on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. It's kind of up to you, but I would say no, at least monthly, right? You don't want to wait, quarterly or annually before you look at your metrics, but even daily is good, right? How many sales did I do today? What was the total amount that I sold? What did I spend today, and what are the profits, right? And then look at the breakdown, right, of my different products. Which ones did I sell the most of? And the reason this is so important is because when you look at your metrics often, it will help you to identify trends. Someone mentioned sales trends earlier, right? Well, you can't identify sales trends unless you're looking at your metrics often, right? Or unless you sit down and spend some time to do analysis and try to figure out what those trends are. Okay? If you're consistently reviewing your metrics, when an investor comes and asks you questions, you're going to know the answers, right? Because you're reviewing it consistently. Okay? If you're consistently looking at your metrics, you're going to be able to identify issues faster. Okay, this particular product doesn't seem to be selling. Why is that? If I haven't looked at my metrics, I'm not going to notice that that particular product isn't selling. I mean, maybe you might just from your interactions with customers, right? But it's not as easy to do. So those are some of the reasons why it's super important to review your metrics often. Okay, and the bonus one, bonus strategy here, right? Businesses are based on relationships most often, right? You're doing business with, yes, sometimes people you don't know, especially if you're in the online world today, right? But often you're doing business with either friends and family or a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Someone told the person to come to your shop or to message you and take advantage of the services that you're offering, right? And usually it's a friend of a friend of a friend, or even someone in a WhatsApp group who recommended you, right? And so it's really important when you're keeping your financial records to also add customer information. Yeah. So just the basics, right? You don't have to go too crazy here, but I would encourage you to record first and last name, phone number, email, and if they're from a particular company, right? Company name, right? And what that will help you do is also try to identify trends, right? If I have last names, for example, maybe I'm gonna notice that someone's cousin, right, is buying from me, right? And then you make those connections, right? If I have phone number and email, that allows me to reach out to those customers and tell them about a promo that you're having, or thank them for a referral that they did, or just stay top of mind, right, by checking in with them and saying, how's the family, right? How are your kids doing? Company, right? If you sell to whether you're B2B or B2C, right? If you have someone's company name, right? Maybe you identify that you've got 2 or 3 people from the same company that are buying your products and services. Well, that probably means that that person told the other person who works at the same company that you have a great product or service. So maybe there are more people at that company, right, that they could tell about your products and services. Right? So it helps you make those connections and try to drive that network and grow that network of people who are going to patronize your products and services. You can go much further than this, right? And then we get into like talking about CRM technology and keeping notes about their friends and family, or how often they buy from you, or their purchase history and all that stuff. But we won't go into those details today. All right. So 6. I said 5 in the beginning, but I gave you 6 very quick digital bookkeeping strategies that you can use. What did you learn? Who wants to either post in chat some of the strategies we just learned, or go off mute? Tell us what's the biggest thing that you learned in the strategies we just went through.
Hello.
Yes,
Can I come on board?
please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I learned that I have to have a price list available, and then have a standard discount that me and my workers can be using often, and then set products and services categories to make it clearer as to what we are doing, and then add payment details to invoices. And then lastly, I have to be more cautious about the customer information, and it will help me make connection with customers that have been referred, and then those that have been retained and other things. That's what happens.
Fantastic. Really good, really good. See some other people posting in the chat as well. Price list, standard discounts, reviewing the metrics. Good. Regina, super important. We didn't talk much about it, but being consistent about recording your transactions, right? If you're not consistent about recording all of your sales, all of your expenses, then even if you're reviewing the metrics, you're not going to be getting a good picture of how your business is doing, right? So super, super important to be consistent. Fantastic. All right. I don't know if we have time to do this, but I wanted to, Winnie, do I have 5 more minutes?
Yes, please. Prince, don't mind.
I don't know.
Oh, Dave is welcome to take all my time. That's fine.
Oh, 5 minutes just to give people a chance to practice. So we just recapped all the things that we learned, right? So I wanted you all to take 5 minutes and practice one of them, right? The ones that I've suggested here are product categories and standard discounts, right? So based on what we just learned, take some time to write down what are your product categories for your business, right? What level of detail do you want in those categories, right? Or take some time to brainstorm, okay, what are the standard discounts that I want to offer my customers? Do I want to offer them amount discounts or percentage discounts? And what are the 3 that they're going to be and those are the only 3 that you're going to use across your company so that it keeps it clean and standard and automated. Okay? So let's take 5 minutes. Either write down your product categories or type them in your phone and save them somewhere. Or write down or type in your phone the standard discounts that you want to have. All right. Let's take 5 minutes and I'll ask 1 or 2 people to share, and then we'll move on to the next part of the session today. All right, great. I see some things coming in the chat. Okay, cool. Discount for doubles. You buy a pack, that's fantastic. Offering a percentage discount on the clearance sale in December around the holidays. Good. And with that percentage discount, I would just make sure that you and your team are very clear. What is that percent that you're going to offer, right? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? Make sure that people don't tweak it, right? You don't want to be communicating to all your customers that you're offering 10% and then someone gives someone 12% and someone gives someone 13%. And good. All right. Yeah, I think that's smart. Someone said percentage discount at a cap price. Okay, a discount for bundles. Good. Cool. All right, very good. Thank you guys for practicing and for sharing. Really enjoyed this session. I think maybe we'll take questions at the end, but let me go ahead and pass it off to Prince to continue on. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dave, and thanks, everyone. I actually didn't want the session to end. I was having fun, but as they say, when you're having fun, time flies. So let me share my screen quickly. Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Just a minute. Wanted to have my screen side by side with my okay. So can you please confirm if you can see my phone on the right side and then the presentation on the left side?
No, Prince, we only see your camera, like we only see your screen, like your face.
Oh, just my face. Interesting. Let me just do this right there. And now?
Yes, now we can see both the screen and then the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, guys, really excited that we are having this session. They've said a lot about the importance of digital bookkeeping. I learned a lot myself, and I hope you have. And as I said, I really didn't want the session to end. So quickly, we're going to pick up from where they've left off and, just have a little bit of a conversation about how to use a digital tool such as the Oze app. And first off, before we do that, I want us to look at ourselves, right now. Let's pause and take a little bit of inventory of what kind of business we are, or what kind of business owner you are. I'm going to give 3 scenarios or 3 examples, right, for us to really assess ourselves. And this is example number 1, right? Example number 1 is my grandmother, who used to have a very thriving business for selling flour, sacks of sugar, gari, needle, and all of that, right? In Kaswa. And she was really doing well. But every time that I go to her and ask her for money, she would tell me to go to the counter in the kitchen. There is like a container in there and there's money in there. So I should go and take what I want to go and buy what I want to buy. And so I will go and then I'll go and take it and go and buy. And that has been consistent, right? Now,
at a point, of course, she was growing old, and so she basically had to stop doing her business. And before that, each time I would overhear her say that this business that I'm even doing, I can't see where the money is going, right? So that's example number one. Now, example number two is a business owner, and let's call this business owner Kofi. Now, Kofi basically, sells and writes or keeps record in the book. So in his study, you could find piles of notebooks. All are records of sales and expenses that has happened in his business over the past 12 years that he's been running his business. And he takes pride in seeing those piles of notebooks on his table anytime that he goes to his study room, because he feels like, I'm doing something right. Now, Kofi has, 2 kids, one boy, one girl. To the blind side of Kofi, whenever it rains, his kids go to his study and then takes one part of the notebook and tear a piece of paper out of that notebook and then forms a ship, a paper ship, with it, and then go and put it in the running water, and the water takes the paper away. A pile of records have been getting missing on the blind side of Kofi. Now, let's take the last example, and this is Ajua. No, I think I would like to use Femi. So let's say Femi is example number 3. Now, Femi runs a fashion business, and she's been recording all her transactions on her phone in an app, right? And she's been keeping track of her categories, as we said. She's been setting her price, right? As Dave talked about. She has also been making sure that she tracks all the discounts. She has a standardized discount, and she tracks that religiously, right? And then she always adds payment details to her invoice and all of that. And she sends this to her customers, right? So her customers know which accounts to use to make payments for her. And she's also able to see on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis her sales and then her expenses, the profits that she's making, and she's able to keep in touch with her customers. Now, with these 3 examples right now, I want us to take inventory, right, of ourselves as business owners. Which one do you fall in? Which business owner are you? You can put maybe your response in the chat. If you are 1, you put 1. If you are 2, you put 2. If you are 3, you put 3, right? We want to be entirely and brutally honest with ourselves today, because that is the first step to actually doing the right thing and digitizing our transactions. So quickly, I'm going to jump into my slides here and just rehash what Dave talked about bookkeeping, right? So basically, bookkeeping, as Dave mentioned, is the act of tracking expenses and income, right? And so anytime you're spending or making money, you're keeping track of that. And anytime that money is leaving your business, you're keeping track of that. And, we all understand that bookkeeping can be overwhelming, right? It can be very overwhelming because you have to do all of the strategies that Dave mentioned, right? Sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're doing it on the book, right? And so it requires a higher level of discipline, right? And so we know that to be able to navigate around the hassles of bookkeeping, look, as a business owner, it's either you're running a business or you're running, a family and friends business and a personal business also at the same time. And so if you're doing the latter, your business will definitely collapse, right? So for you to do a proper bookkeeping, we encourage everybody here to separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. So that brings us back to the first example that I gave, my grandmother, right? She keeps all her money in one container. If I want something, she'll tell me to go and take it, though it is for the business, right? I know she loves her grandson very much, but as a business owner, you would love a lot of people, you have family members that will come to you and all of that, but it's always important to separate your personal expenses from your business expenses, right? Now, She was making good money, but she wasn't seeing where the monies were going to. And so constantly you see her complaining and complaining and complaining. And so if that is what you're experiencing right now as a business owner, then it's time to, pause and think, what should you do differently, right? Now, the second thing is maintaining a habit of regular documentation of transactions, right? Whenever sales happens, you record it. Whenever expenses happen, you record it. Dave has gone through all of this already, where we talked about categorizing your transactions or your products and documenting the right information. That's your customer information, the items that you're selling, and then organizing information properly. And so I'm not going to spend much time here, but let's just go down to this. Now, a couple of you, right, are doing this as well. And that brings us to example number 2, where Kofi is keeping track of his sales and expenses in a pile of notebooks. Usually when you go to the Ghanaian market, you'll find 2 or 3 of this, right? Where you see people with a big calculator, okay? And they are keeping track of every sale by adding or multiplying and writing on a paper receipt and sending, and also keeping track of things in a sales book, right? Now, we are saying it is time to switch. It is time to move away and digitize your transactions. And it's important to do that because of this example that I'm going to give you. And I think it's important to think about this example that is coming up. Now, let's look at entrepreneur number A, where we have an entrepreneur that, does digital bookkeeping and, gets to concentrate on her business ideas and innovations to bring the A game, right? Because entrepreneur A is keeping track of everything on her phone, wherever she is in the world, she'll be able to know how her business is growing and think about what different things she can do to grow her business, right? Now, look at entrepreneur B also, who spends like 3 hours doing manual bookkeeping. That itself will exhaust you. Look, you're a business owner. You are supposed to run the business, not the business running you, right? And so if you're doing manual bookkeeping and doing a lot of calculations, and even you need to have some accounting background to be able to do this. And not all of us are accounting geeks. I don't like doing accounting. It's a bit exhausting. And so if there is a tool that I can plug in to make that easier, that hassle go away, I will do so. And so that brings us all to the point where we are encouraging you to digitize your transaction. And when we are talking about digitizing your transactions, we are not just saying sales. We are not just saying focus on sales. We are saying focus on the expenses also, because even buying 10 cedis airtime, paying for a delivery made to you, even taking trotro, from one point to the other. A lot of businesses fail to record all of that. And so we are encouraging you, record those little things, because they end up to become a colossal sum of expenses that your business is not recording. And so you would always think that you're making a lot of money in your business on paper, but in reality, you are not, right? Because there are expenses that you have not accounted for. And that would give you inaccurate information concerning the health of your business. And so think of doing that, right? Now, I always use this example where I go like, there are 2 business owners, and they've all traveled to go to an investment platform in Tamale, right? If you're in Ghana, Tamale is like at the northern part of Ghana. Now, these 2 businesses are meeting investors and talking to investors, and investors are really interested about their business. They want to really get to know about their finance, right? The money that they are doing, that they are making in their business. Now, one business owner has recorded all his transactions in a book, and it's in Accra. Now, the investor wants to see the numbers. The business owner goes like, oh, my information is in Accra. You know what? Let me go to Accra and come back and, show you that kind of the information that you need, right? And the other business owner has that information on her phone, right? So she quickly pulls that up gets the investor to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement quickly, and shows the investor that these are my numbers, this is the tool that I'm using. Among the two of them, which one do you think would get the investment? Can we get some responses? Let me see. Okay. So what do you think on this? Let's continue. So now we are saying that welcome to the new Oze app where you'll be able to do business better. And the Oze app is basically the tool to help you digitize your transactions. Okay. And that is a powerful tool because it does everything that your business would want. It's basically the business toolkit in your pocket. All right. And we are empowering millions of African businesses to do business better. All right. So together with our team, we are saying use the Oze app to help you be able to digitize your business transactions, set a consistent price, organize your categories, have a standardized discounts, be able to add payment details to your transactions, be able to track your customers, and also, most importantly, see the health of your business in real time. And so we've designed a new Oze app to help you make transactions easier and build, an e-commerce platform for your business itself, right? And then to be able also to track your products and services. And so quickly, I'm just going to rush through, since we basically have a few minutes for this session to end. It's important to know that you can use the Oze app to track your transactions. That is recording a sale of your products or services, or recording an expense, and at the same time generating a receipt, right? So quickly, this is just a rough interface of how the transaction view looks like on the Oze app, right? So the transaction view, I'm also showing my phone to the right, so you can be looking at both at the same time. So you basically get to see that we have a transaction list. If can we see by thumbs up people that are here that have not downloaded the Oze app yet? If you've not downloaded the Oze app yet, then what are you waiting for? Okay, so you just go to the Play Store, you go to the App Store and download the Oze app to be able to follow through the process that we're doing. So you basically get to see your transaction list here, right? In terms of your sales and expenses. And the sales are green, expenses are red, right? And then you also get to see your total, like your cash balance. That is the money that is in your business as at that point in time, okay? You can look at this on a time period as well. You can look at it today, you can look at it yesterday, you can look at it, all time or this month, And so whenever a sale happens in your business, or whenever an expense happens in your business, it's always important to record that so that you won't lose track of that valuable information on that business, right? And so you can quickly add a sale if it's a sale, right? And you can just click on sale, and then quickly it takes you to this place where you can add manually, right? Or you can use third party. Now I would explain what third party means in the later on. So let's just assume that I am into a stationery business, and I'm trying to enter a sale of a scissors that I just sold. So I click on add item, and then this pops up. And since I want to enter a scissors, I click, and I don't have that information on my account in the app. I click on add a new item. So I click on add a new item, and I quickly choose that it's a product that I'm selling. And it's a Shift scissors, right? So the brand name, so that I can be able to identify that. So it's been a while I've spelled scissors. I got it right. Okay, good. So now in this case, I have the item name typed out. And this is going to be the only time that I type the item name, right? And then I say that it's in a category called scissors because I have different brands of scissors. And so I want to put all my different kinds of scissors under one umbrella or in one box. That's what we call category. You remember Dave said that it's always important to set products and service categories. And so we are setting products and service categories here. So I click on add a new category and type in scissors. So that is my category, and then I save, right? So quickly, the category is created for me, and then I click on scissors. Now I have that category added, right? And I can see that I bought this, I'm selling these scissors at a cost of 120. And then I create item, right? So it says item created successfully, right? So quickly, I've already added an item to it. Now I can go ahead and just click on next. Now I have various payment status that I want to use if I want to use them. Now in this case, let's assume that my customer has paid me fully. I can just go ahead and click on save. In other cases, in case my customer has not paid me fully, but has paid partial, partially, I can choose partial payment and say customer has paid me 100 cedis, right? And that was via cash. And the balance will be due maybe 30th. I just choose that. I can save and quickly I'm done with entering my transaction if I want to. Or I can just go on and add customer information if I so want, right? So I click on add information. I can select from my contact list or I can just type out a customer name in case I don't have that in my contact list. But here I have it in my contact list. So I just go and look for it. And let's say I'm typing, I'm choosing Ahmed Estates, Ahmed Eats, the number and everything pops up. Then I save it. So quickly, I have saved a transaction, right? So this transaction will show in my transaction list where I have shipped scissors at the top. There's 120 Ghana cedi and it's partially paid for. A customer details is right there under shipped scissors. And the balance that I'm supposed to receive from this customer is 30th November, right? Now I can send a receipt to Ahmed, or I can send an invoice. So I can just click on share invoice, right? So I send it to Ahmed, and quickly, this will be what it will look like for Ahmed when Ahmed opens the invoice. It will look like this. So the information of my business will be there. And then the payment status, partially paid, the date of the transaction, the invoice number, the amount that is due, the dates, the customer details, everything is there, right? So Ahmed would see all of this information when he gets it, either via email or via WhatsApp or via any platform he so wishes, right? So now let's go back again and say Ahmed has made the balance payment of the 20 cedis that is due, right? So I want to do that. I want to add the balance payments that Ahmed has made so that all these payments, all this, like this particular transaction becomes a fully paid transaction. So I open that same transaction, right? And then I come to add payment at the bottom left. I click on add payment. When I click on add payment, I choose the amount that Ahmed has given me, which is 20 cedis, which is the balance left. And this time around, because Ahmed is not close to me, he's far away, he sends a transfer to me. So I can click on the payment method and say, Ahmed did a bank transfer, right? So I choose bank transfer. And now I just save. I can choose the date that the payment also came in, but it's today, right? So I just save. Now see what happens. Now I have a payment history, 2 payment history from Ahmed. One was a cash payment of 100 cedis. The other was a bank transfer of 20 Ghana cedis. Now I can share receipts to Ahmed as well, right? That's so cool. Now, let's just quickly go. The same process happens when you're entering an expense, but because of time, let's skip the expense part. Now, let's go to the products and services, where from the initial presentation from Dave, it was important to set products and services categories. Now that we created scissors category, you see that the minute we come to products and services, it shows us a list of our inventory. That's what products and services does. Now, if you are new, here will be empty, but if you've been using the app, and creating your products and services. You see that here. Now, because we created scissors, right? A new product item called scissors, we need to complete that product item by adding a picture. So you see that at the top, it says complete one product and services because it is incomplete. So all that I need to do is just click on complete one product and services, and then the scissors pops up, right? So all that I need to do is tap on this and give more information. That is product. The item name is there already, the category is there already, the price is there already. All that is left is how many of these scissors do I have in stock, right? So in this case, I can say I have 5 scissors in stock. And I can decide to also take a picture of this scissors by clicking on the image, the 4 square image with the plus, by clicking on at the top left, and then I can save this particular item that I have just created. So basically, this is how to do it, right? This is how to add products and services to your inventory. Now, if you're into services, maybe you do barbering, or you're into fashion, where you do tailoring and all of that, where you have different kinds of, tailoring service that you offer, you'll be asking, you don't do stock when it comes to services. And so services doesn't have the stock part or the number of units option where product has. So you can list the different kinds of services that you offer without having to enter units associated to it. So if you are into services, you click on the service aspect and you can add a new service, right? Now, this is how the services looks like. Right. So basically, the same process you go through adding a product, that's the same process you go through adding a service. But in this case, there won't be the need to enter the units associated to that particular activity. Right. So now let's go to the next part, which is my favorite part. Let me move on to this. Sorry. Oh, sorry. We didn't talk about this. Now, in terms of payments reminders, you can also send payment reminders to your customers, right? Who owe you money, so that you can track them, right? In case your customer owes you money and has not made a full payment, you can send them a message and say, this is the message. You can see there's a send payment reminder version that, and the customer name is Amma. Says there's a friendly reminder from Prince that you owe this amount. You can send the payments to, then you put your more details there. Now, it's always important to complete setting up your Oze account so that your Momo number will show. So if you've not done your KYC, or if you've not done your account upgrade, right, you need to upgrade your account by coming to the settings aspects. So you come to account limits, then you upgrade your accounts. It's always important to upgrade your Oze account by coming to settings. So do that, and then you'll be able to send payments reminders to your customers. So now let's just go to shop, right? Let's just go to shop, which is one of my favorite parts of the Oze app, where you'll be able to add products to your Oze shop. This is your own e-commerce platform. Right, this is your own website where you can sell your products to people, and then people will pay you. The money comes into your account, right? And then you can control the inventory that you have in your shop. You can reduce, you can add, you can do so many things. You can actually set up your delivery routes and all of that, right? So let's just go to shop. So this is how your shop would look like on the Oze app, to be able to sell, where we have the products on one side, that is products that you have published. And we'll see some examples of shops that are, on Oze shop and how they look like. I think you'll fall in love with it. And then you can also see orders to the right. So orders basically shows you the list of payments or purchases that has happened on your Oze shop, right? And so you see, I have 4 lists of orders that I have received. And then to the right, some are saying completed, some are saying unfulfilled. Now, the completed are those that I've already delivered, right? And so I hit complete or fulfilled, so that it becomes a completed order. For me to be able to track orders that have already delivered and orders that have not delivered yet. And the unfulfilled are the ones that I have not delivered yet. And so I need to work on that, right? And then you can also set your delivery method, right? So here you can customize, like for instance, if the customer buys from you online and wants to come and do a pickup, how much they are supposed to pay will be 0. Yeah, because it's free. They are coming to pick it up. You can also set a flat rate that no matter where you are, after you make an order, this is how much you're going to pay for it. Or you can customize it in such a way that if the customer is in Lagos and they bought from you, you're in Abuja, right? This is how much it's going to cost them to deliver the product from Abuja to Lagos, right? And so you can customize different states' delivery costs so that the customer would have that information as they are buying from you on your website, which is really, really cool and something for you to explore. Now, let's come to the orders. When you receive an order, all that you need to do is just click on that order, right? You click on that order, you'll be able to see the date that the order came in, the sales channel, which is your own website. And then you will also be able to see the customer number, the customer name. And you can quickly call this customer and say, hey, I've received your order, and so I'm sending it to you right now, right? So it becomes easier to engage with customers that buy from you online as well. You get to see the item details and all. You get to see if there's a discount that you've given, if there's a shipping fee, if there's a total price and all of that. And then you can call, right? So it's always good to use the Oze app. And we've had tons and tons of users use the Oze app, and they've had great successes. Now, these are some examples of, Oze shops on our platform right now. This is a user that is into perfume. And so when he uploads his picture or his products and items, this is how they come. And these are great pictures, right? Now, imagine he takes, he shares his shop link to his network of friends or family members and potential customers, by clicking on the share button on the phone at the top right? By clicking on the link, which says that Oze shop, Prince Test shop, then there's a share button and copy. We would encourage you to always share your shop because that is how customers can find you. So imagine his network of friends see this. They'll be interested in buying from him, right? Now, let's go to another shop also called, Jeffa Jewel. Very nice pictures of shop. This is your own website and you can run this anytime, and this is also another cocktail business that is on Oze shop, and they're making a killing, right? So the way to actually benefit from Oze shop is by sharing your Oze shop link on your WhatsApp. Maybe you can put it in your away messages. You can copy and paste it in your greeting messages so that when someone sends you a message, your shop link pops up telling them that you are away. And so this is your shop link. They should go ahead and order and it should be delivered to them instantly. You can even put it in your Instagram bio so that anytime that you make a future post, you can say to buy, click on link in bio. And people are making a lot of money because of all of these features on the Oze shop. Now, let's just quickly run to Coach. Now, as a business, we know that it's always like a solitude journey to be an entrepreneur, right? And so sometimes you need a little of a helping hand to guide you and then assist you to grow your business, right? And also offer you the resources that you need for your business. And so from time to time, Oze Coach gives you business tips that are valuable and are like nuggets to give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of education whether it is in pricing, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in operations, right? You get all of these insights from coach, right? To be able to know what to do right and what to be able to tap into to grow your business. I think my internet is a bit because I'm connected to various things at the same time. That's why. So you get to see the business tips. Yeah, right now you can see that we have strategic discount. You can see we have tips on discounts. And so if I want to read more on discounts, all that I need to do is just click on read more, and then this pops up, right? So it says that you may have seen the discount feature on Oze and ask yourself, why should I use this? As entrepreneurs, we always like to get full price, but a well-timed discount can increase your overall profitability, right? So this gives you some nuggets of information that can help you be able to do more and to do profitably in your business. And you can also reach out to us by clicking on Get Help. If you're on a coach screen, the Get Help is at the top right side of the app. So basically, that's what coach is for. Now, let's run into the others, which is the metric aspect, analytics, right? They've talked about reviewing metrics often, and we want you to be doing that all the time on the Oze app, where you get to see your cash balance, that is the money in your business, you get to see your profit, you get to see your sales and expenses. So in this case, you can look at it in various time periods, right? Or you can even tap on profit and loss and get a sense of what your profit or loss was, in this case, this week, right? So this week, this is my profit, which is what, 15,542. And then my profits increased by 26%. And so you get to have a real-time information of the health of your business and your total sales and all of that. All of this at your fingertips. That is why it's always very, very important that you digitize your business transaction. And Dave has spent a lot of time talking about this. And so if you still don't have those there whilst we are having this conversation, then I guess we have to chase you, right? Just put your number there. We'll chase you so that you can digitize your business transactions. And the next thing is also about, just a minute. So you can get to see all of this. You can see your expenses or sales. Let's look at the sales aspect. You can see the sales that you have made, your total sales, sales on credits, your sales charts and all of this really helpful for you to understand. And the last bit is the settings, where you can customize Oze app to look the way you want it to look. And as I mentioned earlier on, upgrade your Oze account so that you'll be able to do more and do better. And so the way to do that is by coming to account limits and adding your Momo information, adding your business location, so that you own the Oze app as your own tool to grow your business, right? It's always important to do that. And you can even set reminders. You can set reminders so that the app reminds you to be able to enter transactions if you so wish. Now, let's go to the next bit, which is, because of time, I'm just running through quickly. So that brings us all the way to the part where you'll be asking, is this a paid feature, a paid tool? But before that, let me read some of the comment that we have. Okay, sorry, looks like I can just continue. So if there are any questions, you can just type them out, or you can ask now before we move on to the paid subscriptions in the app. Any questions at this point? Any questions? Yeah, just want to confirm. Winnie, can you hear me clearly?
So I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of payments or subscription packages in the Oze app, we do have a free version of the app, and that is called Bronze. right? We do have the free version of the app, which is called Bronze. However, we do also have paid features or paid plans in the app, and they are Silver, Gold, and Platinum. So if you're in Ghana, Silver goes for 50 cedis, and it comes with its own functionalities, things that you can do with Silver. So with Silver, you can access dashboards of your metric, which is your analytics. You can record unlimited sales and expenses. However, those sales and expenses that you can enter is associated to 25 items in your inventory. So if you have more than 25 items and you want to enter transactions of the 26th item, you won't be able to do that on the Silver package, right? You can also generate up to 25 invoices only or receipts only, right? And then you can access a collateral-free loan too. So that's what Silver offers you, and that goes for 50 cedis. Now, Gold does more than what Silver offers. Gold gives you unlimited receipts and invoices, and then unlimited items in your inventory. And then with Gold, you can also manage employees, up to 2 employees. You can add 2 employees plus you making 3 users on your Gold package, right? Now that goes for a month, it's 125 Ghana cedis if you want to go for Gold. And we encourage everybody here to go for Gold, because Gold is where the enjoyment of the app is, where you can really gain value from using the Oze app. And subsequently, we also do have, and then with Gold, you can access the app on your computer. Now, and then subsequently, we have Platinum. Platinum gives you the ability to do everything Silver does, everything Gold does, and add up to 9 more employees to your account, right? And then still access Oze app on your computer. So basically, these are the different packages on a monthly basis, right, that you can pay. Or you can even go for 6 months if you want. You can go for 1 year if you want. Now, if you're in Nigeria, these are the price lists for you. Silver goes for 2,000 Naira. Gold goes for 4,500 Naira, and Platinum goes for 9,900 Naira. Now, these are the monthly subscription packages. We do have the 6-month package, and we do have the 1-year package. If you are going for 6 months, you get 1 month discount, right? We mentioned discounts in our earlier presentation, right? So you get to see that we are not changing the price, but we are giving you a discount of 1 month. So if you're paying for 6 months, you get a discount for 1 month. So you will pay for 1 month of the subscription. If you're going for 1 year, we give you 3 months discounts. We give you 3 months discounts. The price remains the same, but we give you 3 months discounts, right? And so we're encouraging you to look at the different packages here and start to use the Oze app as the tool for your business growth. As of now, do we still have any questions? Okay, let me start from, okay, so someone asked, is the Oze shop for free? Good question. So it is free to set up on the Oze shop. However, whenever you have a transaction happen, we take 2.5% of the sale or of the charge. And so what we usually encourage vendors to do is that if you are selling an item normally outside shop for like 100 Naira, right, or 100 cedis, we encourage you to put 2.5 on that 100 Naira or cedis. And so if you're putting it on shop, you do 102.5, Naira or 102.5 cedis, so that the charge doesn't come to you, but it goes to the customer if you don't want to bear the charge, right? So we take 2.5 on that. And then someone is asking if the Oze app is free. So we do have the free version, but we also do have paid packages. If you want more functionality, more flexibility, right, you can pay for the paid packages, and we'll encourage you to pay for the paid packages because it helps really take charge of your business. If you're getting something for free, usually you don't take it serious, but when you put your money in there. There's commitment in there. And so you want to get value. You want to maximize that value. You want to take it serious. So we'll encourage you to do that, right? And then the other question is, we've setting the delivery route and price. At first, there was like a code you can call to get connected to the delivery guy. Okay, so for this delivery system in the app, we've not connected it to delivery companies yet. We are working on getting third parties to join. We are at the latter stages, so that whenever there is an order, right, that you receive an order, the delivery company would also receive a prompt and just write straight to where your shop is, take possession of the item, and just quickly go and deliver to the customer, so that you don't have to, get a delivery person by phone call to come and go and deliver for you. But the delivery person will get the prompts themselves, right? So we are at the final stages of getting that iron out in the app. Any other questions as of now? I know we are like 26 minutes way beyond time. Winnie, is there anything that you like to add here?
Just to thank you. Dave had to drop off quickly because he had to rush into another meeting. But yeah. Prince, are you okay? Are you done, or I can wrap up?
Yeah, so I think just to wrap up in a minute, I think Dave has done a very good job taking us through bookkeeping, digital bookkeeping, and I for one have learned a lot. I hope you have. If you've really enjoyed the session with Dave, please give him an emoji kind of thing, hands up or something. Winnie, you can put your number there. If anyone wants to contact us, we will be readily available to talk to the person for further assistance. And till then, we are always here to assist you. And thank you so much for your time. Yeah, that's it, Winnie.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you so much. Please also send some love to Prince with some emojis as well. So I just wanted to end this off with just something that we're doing currently in the company. We're doing a challenge. I know some of you on here are already on the app and you've actually been faithful users. We really appreciate you for even coming to join this call, because you probably know some of this information already. So I just wanted to just introduce you guys to the challenge we are running. If anybody is interested, it's for this week. I'll just share my screen briefly to just show it to you. So it's called the My Oze Story Challenge. So this week we're giving out $50 to 3 lucky businesses. All you have to do is record a 60-second video of your Oze story, which is how Oze has helped your business. You share it on your Instagram page and tag us as collaborators, and you can stand a chance to win $50,000. I said 50,000. Sorry, $50. So if you can, I'll put the link in the chat if you want to get more information. Let me do that right now. And also, you can also check our Instagram page if you want more information on that. So this is the information I have so far. I don't know if some of you have seen your pictures, your lovely pictures in our design. We really appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us. If you have any questions, I've messaged people on WhatsApp, so I believe you guys have my number. If you don't, please let me know. I'll put it in the chat again. And I think that's pretty much it. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend. God bless.